Hello and welcome to an InkDependence.com brief video review and water drop test. Today, Akkerman number 5, Shocking Blue. This is the first of the Akkerman, well I guess not first, I've done one or two before, but anyway, this is the first of a new set of Akkerman inks I'm going to be looking at. These all came to me from the Anderson Pens folks. Thanks very much for the samples, guys. I really appreciate that. Throw Brian and Lisa a little bit of your business, tell them I sent you. It won't probably get either of us anything, but it's nice to know that sometimes my reviews help out, so there's that thing. Akkerman number 5, Shocking Blue, is one of the only Akkerman inks that I can actually pronounce. So I'm going to do that one first. I have a friend who's from Netherlands, and hopefully he'll be able to help me out with pronunciations on some of these other inks. But this one, Shocking Blue, I can do. So there you go. I bet there's Dutch for Shocking Blue that I can't pronounce, but I know that nonetheless, this is what it said on the bottle, which is this little guy. You get these in 3 mil samples. They're $2, I think, at Anderson Pens. 3 mils is might not sound like that much, but it is several fills of a pen. I mean, your average converter holds slightly under a mil, I guess. That's 3 fills right there, and nobody really gets a full converter full unless you do unless you use a syringe, that sort of thing. So, that is several fills of ink. It's definitely going to let you know what you're getting into. You can see through there, this is a it's very dark ink. It's pretty saturated. And actually on the page, it's kind of tough to see that it's a blue sometimes. I mean, you can see the blue around the edges there, but even in this little bit of dying light I've got left here, you can see a lot of like purpley red sheen there. This ink has crazy amounts of sheen. That's kind of the, I don't know, the fanciest thing about it, maybe the most shocking thing about it. I had it in these 2 pens. This one you will have seen recently if you've been watching the blog. This is a 1911, the Sailor 1911 Standard. This has got a hard medium nib, which is, I don't know, it's a little bit on the, it's on the finer side of medium if you ask me, but a very nice nib, good generous flow. And then I had this, which is one of my pride and joys here. Thank you very much, Audrey, for getting this for me for Christmas last year. I can't believe it was a year ago. This is the Franklin Kristoff Panther 40. You can't get this combination because there's only one of these. This is a prototype sort of pen with all these bands and this cool smoky acrylic. But this has also got a big broad stub in it. So this is a fairly wet nib and it's big. So when you look at the copy paper, you'll see maybe a little bit of bleed through on this one, and that's not crazy because it's the big nib. So anyway, there you go. Those are the 2 pens I used for this this test. And man, if you get yourself one of these Panther 40s, they're great. And also the Mike Masuyama nibs they have are fantastic. I'll put these over here. So as I said before, this is a very blue, very sheeny blue ink. I'm losing the light so quickly that you almost can't see that sheen anymore. But as I say here, it's pretty wet. It's on the wet side of the spectrum. Both these pens are a little bit on the wet side, but one of the things about being an ink reviewer who has a lot of pens is that I can kind of tell you what my pens are like. So I know what it's supposed to do. Here it is on the Mendocine card. You can see there's a lot more blue here, which is kind of interesting. It came out much darker here on this paper. But this is a much more absorbent paper, so if you use a more absorbent paper, you're more likely to see the blue. It won't sit on top as much, although you do still see some sheen there. In fact, you'll see a little bit of sheen even on the copy paper, so that's pretty impressive. This doesn't happen very often, so there's that. Now, bleed, feather, and spread here is, let's see, it is this line right here. These 2 lines, these 2 pens. Let's see, can I show the sheen? I don't know if I've got the light for it. There's just a touch. It's not much, and you have to look pretty closely, and you probably have to know what you're looking for. I can barely see it even with my eyeballs here. So this is the back side, and it's this bit right here in between. You can see this bottom line. This is with the Franklin Kristoff. That's a very wet nib, and you see only a few places where it actually kind of comes through a little bit, but that's really more like ghosting than anything else. And the only reason you can see this right here, it's not bleed, it's just kind of like show through because it's very thin paper. But this is just run-of-the-mill, regular old 20-pound Staples copy paper that I nicked from my office. So there you go. But this is a very good performance. You can see a couple of things coming up. Sailor's Bumbox on Wazaki C and Akkerman number 10, which is an IG Iron Gall. So you can see a little bit of hint of what's going to happen there. This Omazaki C is coming up next, I believe, because it's a very close relative to this Akkerman ink, at least in terms of color and such. So anyway, there you go. There's that. Let's take a look at how this does with, well, let's take a look at some comparisons right quick. Now, there's not anything I have really that's super close except for this Bumbox ink, at least not inked up at the moment. There might be a few things I'm not thinking of, but both of them have a fair amount of sheen, although Akkerman number 5 certainly wins. This is a fairly expensive ink. It comes in a big bottle from Anderson Pens. I believe it's 20. Anderson Pens and Van Ness are the only two places in the U.S. that actually sell it, and I think both of them actually just have to import it and then sell it. So the cost is fairly high. One of them's 28 or 29, the other one's 29 or 30. Anderson's a little bit cheaper, I think by $1 or $2, and then their shipping, I believe, is cheaper as well. So, but this is a big bottle. It's a very cool bottle. If you haven't seen it, check it out on the interwebs. I don't have one to show you. I've never gotten one. I probably should, and heck, maybe it'll be this one, although I want to try out some more of these. Some of these Akkermans look amazing, so there you go. And then I compared it to Noodler's Dark Matter over here, just to have a black to compare it to. But those two blues, and then Akkerman number 10, which is kind of a, I thought it was blue, but it's an iron gall, and so as it cures, it actually turns like really into a gray color, which is very interesting. So, and then Air Core, which I've had in a pen for a little bit, sitting here. All right, so let's take a look at how this does with water. Don't really know what's going to happen here, although I have a clue. Let's get it sort of centered. Yeah, that's good. All right. So, ooh, that's, man, as soon as it touches it, blam, it comes right off. That's actually kind of a fun effect. I bet if you're one of those people that does water washes or some sort of artsy thing, this would be very cool. But as a person who's writing with pens, let's see what's left after we, mop some of this up, because whoa. All right, so, instantly blue. All right. Water resistant? No, that doesn't look good at all in terms of water resistance. It's a very pretty design on my paper towel here, though. This is going to be a good looking paper towel when I'm finished with it. I don't know if any of y'all actually save your ink paper towels. I kind of do. I think it looks neat. Still a little bit more come off. But yeah, you can see that blue stuff was there. Actually, a little bit of it came through the back of this page. But that's just because it got very wet. But yeah, no, this is not water resistant, so don't use this to address any envelopes. If you're doing Christmas cards, this is not your ink of choice for that addressing duty. Here's the chromatography right here. As you can see, this right here is where I started. There's barely a ghost left, and then most of it has really traveled. So this ink, not at all water resistant. I would say it comes right off. Anything more than just a few drops is going to completely obliterate whatever you were planning to have on that page. So not very water resistant at all. All right. So this has been Akkerman number 5, Shocking Blue. Can I recommend it? Yeah, unless you're going to want it to be water resistant. But if you want a very nice looking blue that's got a crazy amount of sheen, a lot of people are really into that. If you don't like sheen, stay the heck away from this ink. But go check it out. At least get yourself a sample if you can't get a bottle, but definitely get a sample of this stuff. It's pretty awesome. So there you go. All right. So I am Mike. This is inkdependence.com. If you like what's going on in this blog and you think, hey, maybe I could support Mike in his endeavors, you totally can. Go over to www.patreon.com/inkdependence. That will give you a place where you can figure out how to donate to the blog. You can do it on a monthly basis, recurring, that sort of thing. I don't do it per review, I do it per month, so $1 or $2 goes quite a long way, actually, into getting me new stuff to review with and equipment and all that sort of jazz. And to those of you who are already my patrons, a heartfelt thank you for supporting me all this time, and thanks for reading the blog. If you, again, this ink sample came from the Anderson Pens folks. That's Brian and Lisa. Give them your business if you can. They are fantastic folks. It's a true mom and pop shop. Also, if you're anywhere near Appleton, Wisconsin, go visit them because that is a very cool shop. So that's my plug. The review, however, is all mine. No money has changed hands, and as they know, and everyone else I hope knows, I am pretty objective when it comes to these ink reviews. So you can see for yourself what this ink does. All right, that's it. I am done rambling. Peace out.